What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pawpaw Speed Shop. Tonight, it is a sudden death showdown between my big turbo all-wheel drive Eclipse known as Mitsubishi against the Galactic Conquest.
So this thing's running better than ever. It's got good oil pressure. The turbo's spooling like it should. Now, we're really afraid of the head gasket blowing on this little G54B because they are absolutely notorious for it. This is gonna be that little engine's last hurrah before it gets yanked out of there, and we're putting our 4.8 LS with just a little bit of nitrous in there. So we're getting a baseline for that, but when the Eclipse walks all over it, then we're gonna take it over to the 1G and see if it can actually beat this 2.6 liter turbocharged Conquest.
Loser races the Talon.
Yeah, boy.
So the Mitsubishi was my 1998 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Started out as a GST I bought as my first car for $1,500. Drove it through high school and most of college as a front-wheel drive car, and then one summer converted it to all-wheel drive, including a forged short block. Thing runs about 20 PSI on the street. Maybe on a good day, if we put it on a dyno, might make 300 horsepower, but that's probably more like 250. This little thing's awesome. It's my forever car. Mechanically, it should be able to handle at least 400, 450 horsepower and rev all day long to at least 8 grand. Do I have the nerve to do that? No.
So this is our 1989 Galactic Conquest. The thing's stock with its 2.6 liter G54B. It runs 14 PSI with the wastegate disconnected. And the best part about it is it's got a tractor flap with a hater pipe straight out of the hood.
The Talon is actually my 1993 Eclipse GS I picked up for $500 about 2 years ago, and man, has it been quite the relationship with this little car. Put a little Talon body kit on it from a guy I found local to me and converted it to a 5-speed. It is a non-turbo. It's running full Haltech now, and we're still in the midst of tuning it.
Dragway. We're going to head to the staging lanes and try not to make too big of a fool out of ourselves with the 2 slowest passes. Other than a couple of Harleys here that think they're fast. I won't say anything about that. But yeah, we're going to go to the staging lanes and we'll see what happens.
Alright guys, so did our first run. I went a 985 at, call it 78 miles an hour. Blaine went a 1097 with a 7 at 64 miles an hour.
But I treed the crap out of you.
I didn't even watch the ball.
And he bogged it.
I bogged it and I watched for Blaine to leave.
Yeah.
Listen, we don't do this ever.
Nah, we don't even
As
know how
much
the
as
staging lanes
as much
work
as we
here at
talk
this
about
track.
it, we don't have a clue how anything works. So I'd have to do this like at least 10, 15 times before the sensory overload of just being in line went away.
Now Austin has a little session in there. I forgot to click play on my, or record on my GoPro, so we're gonna go run this again.
We're gonna go
Best
again.
2 out of 3 kind of thing.
Yeah, I just want to.
Yeah, it was really fun. I'm gonna build boost on start. I'm getting you this time.
It was faster than I thought it was.
Yeah, no, this thing, I saw it arch up and go whoosh.
What, this?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Oh no, that's faster than I thought it was.
Conquest is faster.
I couldn't hear it at all because there's like so much going on.
I didn't even know this car was running.
No, I didn't either. I had so much good.
My foot's shaking over here.
Yeah, I know.
I stalled it when I came into the.
Did you
when
really?
I rolled onto the tracks. I couldn't hear it.
Yeah,
I just
know.
forgot the car was running. And I was not focused on what I was
We're gonna run again. Guys, so we ran 2 runs. Actually, that run felt really lazy, but it actually went 2/10 faster. That's probably because me and my juvenile self over revved it the first run. We ran 1071 though, which that's, I mean, it's slow, but it's still better for this thing. We've got some gasket down here pissing coolant everywhere. So I honestly don't feel like being the guy. I honestly don't feel like being the guy who spreads coolant all the way down the track for one of these high horsepower cars. We're not gonna run the Talon tonight. Probably. Nah, I don't think we should, honestly. This thing feels like it's down on power, but we're not gonna run the Talon tonight here because I don't want to go spread coolant all over the track. But who knows, we might make something happen in Mexico or something like that, going 55 miles an hour in about 14 seconds.
So yeah, I mean, for not having driven this car for 6.5 years.
You're in a 942.
At the drag strip, and I've never driven it with the Ford short block or all-wheel drive. I mean, like I said, again, it's sensory overload, and we don't do this enough for me to be able to feel like I know what I'm doing. But I mean, it could be slower.
Could be slower.
78 miles an hour is not horrible.
No, not in the 8th.
I made up no reaction time at all.
Yeah, we really didn't hit the tree at all.
But I was also 4/10 quicker, 60 foot.
I was 2/10 quicker running an automatic after the first gear pull. So, all right, boys, something is not happy. I think the distributor's soaked, but it is missing bad. But you can see flame out of it. One of those cylinders ain't fired, and raw fuel going into that joker. Hear that, guys? It's peeing fluid. Yeah.
Well, for something that sat that long,
That's impressive that nothing else happened.
And that's what failed.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. So it's the next day, guys, and the Conquest lived. All we had was a small coolant leak that kept us from running another race against the Talon, which we really wish we could have had that happen, because this thing is actually way faster than we thought it would be. I thought it'd run like an 11.5 probably in the 8th mile, with this being an automatic car. With that thing making 14 PSI, I mean, it screamed from about 1,500 RPM to about 4,000. And the first round, I revved it out too far, manually shifting it. And so the second round that we went out, I left it in drive after the first gear pull, kind of accidentally, and it actually ran 2 mile an hour faster and 2/10 faster. So this thing really made some steam, didn't hurt itself, and is actually a pretty good little performer. It's faster than any little Fox body from the 80s ever wished to be in. So it's a wicked little
Fox body fanboys.
Well, I mean, any Mustang made before, what, 2008? I mean, really. I mean, this thing walk all over it.
You were able to brake boost it too, which was kind of fun.
That is so much fun. I forgot about automatic cars being able to build boost on the starting line. And you feel like a tractor trailer sitting there with a tractor flap sitting there.
The car got a lot of looks. First of all, you don't see any of this. I was not kidding. There were more ratty Fox body Mustangs than you could shake a stick at.
Oh yeah.
People were coming over to this thing. You don't see these things anymore, and this thing got a lot of laughs.
Yeah, it did.
That was really funny. There were people in the staging lanes every time Blaine would start this thing up, and it would poof its little residual smoke out the top. They would turn and just either laugh or go, "What in the world's that?" So it was a lot of fun. It was definitely worth what we did.
Oh heck yeah, it's so worth it. Just to, even if you don't have anything that's super fast, like if you have a Mustang, I mean, you can go and I mean, you can go to the drag strip and have some fun. I mean, you know, our first time going out a couple of years ago, we were kids. You know, some people were kind of, you know, dissing us being there with 4-cylinders or something.
We were still the only 4-cylinder.
We still were the only 4-cylinder turbo cars there last night. But the guys we talked to were super nice, super fun. You know, just overall, good
You make
time.
a few friends every time you go someplace. One of the guys we actually talked to was a guy that used to hang around the track and actually race against our dad at a rear dragway back in the day. So you just never know who you're going to run into.
Exactly. And it's just, and once you get past, you know, the couple of old guys be like, "Hey, got a small block in it," and then you kind of start talking to them a little bit. Then they kind of open up a little bit. It's really fun though.
Yeah.
And overall, it was an awesome day. Wish we could have raced both those cars together, but overall, just impressed with the Conquest being an automatic and how fast it actually is, because I thought it was slow as can be, but it's not.
A good send-off for the 4-cylinder.
Absolutely.
And now we're even more attached to this thing. We've got to find a way for it to live on.
Yeah, this motor is too good to just sit.
Yeah.
It's way too fun. But this thing having such a cool looking cylinder head design, with it being actually a Hemi sitting here, I mean, with that little turbo, we really want to find a little 2-seater boat to shove that little motor into and see if we can have some fun in the water with it. And it's a porker, but the thing needs to live on the way it is. So last night on the way home, we were coming down over a hill, and I was trying to get a shot of the thing backfiring through the tractor flap because it had really cool blue flame coming out of it. It started misfiring bad, but the coolant leak that we had was from this little tube, which we've already fixed it. It was leaking right here, and it saturated the distributor cap and everything. And so it had a bad misfire, so the thing would only do about 40-45 miles an hour all the way home. So this morning we took it apart, cleaned it out, and the thing runs perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's perfectly good. It pushed out a good bit of coolant. We filled it back up. So
What was the first orifice that leaked on this car the first time we ever got this thing to run?
So the first time we started this engine up way back, this little tube right here that goes to the turbocharger leaked from this right here. So what did I do? Instead of replacing it, I just torqued the hose clamp to like max that I could. And it just cut the tube. And so it was only a matter of time before the thing got hot, built pressure, and actually burst or ruptured. So we got that fixed. If that's the only casualty we had from the evening, that's a pretty good evening for sure.
So guys, be sure to follow along with us on the build of this car. This is only the beginning. We're gonna do a lot of fun stuff with this car. This thing is gonna get pretty radical. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe on the video. Thank you for watching if you've hung in there with us up until this point.
And if you want to see any more of this thing in between videos, go ahead and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at pawpaws_speed shop. We'll see you guys next time.